It's been a minute since we've done a podcast.
Yeah, man. But picking up where we left off.
For real. Okay, we're recording. So what's going on, guys? My name is Johnny Rodriguez. This is J-Rock Pod. Today, thank you very much, Jay. I keep saying Jay. Dave. We have our other producer, Dave, in the building today. Also a great producer. However, he doesn't talk on the mic, which does irritate me a little bit. It's okay.
One day.
One day. But with that being said, we got a super special guest. His name is Roy Spencer. We had a podcast. It was called ROIS Investments or ROIS Podcast. Look it up. You'll learn a lot about crypto. There's tutorial videos. We talk about the stock market. Roy's expertise. He knows what's going on with the stocks. And something that's pretty correlated with the stocks is what's going on in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, first, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I'm walking away from the stock market and crypto in general.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm done.
You done?
I'm actually at the point where I've just automated most of it. So now I've got an algorithm to run it all for me.
Yeah, bro. When you say that, an algorithm, what is, because, you know, people have Twitter algorithms, TikTok algorithms. What's the difference between that and, like, your algorithm?
Yeah, so an algorithm in my, like, understanding is just something that's based in code that can do things automatically for you. So with the stocks and crypto, there's a lot of points where you'd be trading just based off emotion, and that's always the most painful part and usually what leads to, you know, failure in the market. So I've decided to walk away from that in general, let things play out based off statistics, and then run it from there. So the algorithm takes into account like inclines and declines of the market, and then also looks at macro statistics to figure out a good point for entry and exit.
Okay. And so you built this all by yourself?
Yeah, I'm currently a master's student at the University of Michigan, and so that's been partially my goal of being there, is to create something like that.
That's awesome, bro. And I know you went to Ohio State as well.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that anymore.
Okay, yeah. But dude, I mean that's awesome. I remember when you first were like talking about making it, and it's cool. You showed me a little glimpse of kind of, you know, what it can do. And dude, bravo. That is really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it running.
Yeah, dude. And we'll for sure, you know, once it's running, bro, we'll have you on again, and it'll be like, you know, it's like when they have a comedian on right before they do their special. Mm-hmm. And then they do the special and they come back on and then they talk about it.
I mean, it's good because now I can focus on other things like coming on, having some fun, traveling, and, you know, going to places that we don't belong.
Okay, so let's get into that. I know that you have recently been to Ukraine. Most people think, like, no one's, like, if you ask someone, hey, like, where are you going for vacation? Literally no one's going to say, I'm going to Ukraine.
Yeah.
There's a war and people being, you know, killed and their bodies mutilated and everything, and kids just fucked up in the streets, and just a lot of drugs and way worse than it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is probably true, all of that. But with that being said, you were in Ukraine. What was that experience like, man?
I got to say, it was like riding in, just, you know, clearing your mind. But I want to take you back to the days of the school bus.
Take
right?
me back, bro.
We're riding on the school bus. We're on our way to school, right? And you remember that like yellow bus? It had those, you know, it had a bunch of people on there.
Short one?
No, it's a big one. And imagine that, but you got the most rickety tires ever on the bottom. You think those things could pop at any second? Like, these things look like little tires that you put on a bike. You know?
I love that word, rickety.
Dude, it's horrible. And you're riding around, and it's November. It's November in Ukraine, and it's like the Detroit snowfall, but you're getting like maybe a foot of snow, and you're just riding through there. You're making your peace with God, and you're riding through.
What kind of car?
Dude, it's just a school bus.
You're driving a school?
No, I'm not driving it. I'm
see.
on the bus, and I'm the only person there that just speaks English. And we have to pass through like 3 or 4 checkpoints where everybody gets up, people get on the bus with guns, and they make sure that it's like a secure checkpoint for you to get through. And like, I don't speak any of this language, so, you know, I'm just following everybody else's orders. Like, everybody stands up, I'm standing up. Everybody sits down, I'm sitting down. It's like Game of Simon Says, but I don't know what the hell they're saying. And so, you know, at one point they get to me, and they have the dog, you know, this drug sniffing dog sniff me up, you know, make sure that I'm clean. But this guy, he's just standing there holding a shotgun, trying to ask me questions.
Pointed at you?
Pointed at me because, like, he just wants to make sure. He's like, what the hell is this American guy doing here? You know, am I just
We're on
smuggling
their
some
team.
shit?
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, like, that's what I was trying to say, but, like, I don't speak Ukrainian, and he's getting upset. He's getting mad. He's, like, trying to speak to me in Ukrainian. I only speak English. Like, hey, like, I just come in peace. Like, just, you know, I'm good.
Fuck that guy. He should have. He doesn't know English?
I mean, it's like some soldiers, bro, and their main goal is to just be on the front lines and, you know, serving their country, and I get that.
But also, he should speak English. We got funding, you know, the reason they're still here is because of us. So show some respect.
But like, dude, I just thought it was hardcore, like the way like everybody started talking, and I think they're pointing at me because, like, you know, there was somebody on the bus that shouldn't be there, and maybe it was a Russian, a Russian, but I don't know. And everybody's squawking, everybody's saying some shit, and this guy just cocks his rifle, his shotgun with one hand.
What the fuck?
And just everybody gets quiet.
What is this? So does he do that when he, like, the guy with the dog is standing near you and he had to point it at you? Did he cock it then, or did he cock it when he got on the bus?
Well, he cocked it after, like, walking by me, because a lot of, like, the people there are yelling about something. I'm not really sure. I don't speak the language, but, like,
I wonder what they're yelling about.
They're yelling about something. He's like, that's his way of telling everybody shut the fuck up.
That's fucking sick.
It was
it's
like
a sick move.
Yeah, it's a sick move. But, like, dude, just like the, you know, energy out there, pretty insane. And then getting there, the city was actually beautiful. Kiev.
Yeah.
Just rolling through. It's like a nice. It's one of the top 5 biggest, like, cities in all of Europe.
Oh wow!
And so this thing just spans on forever, and they have the most, like, beautiful churches. Like, you see that, like, gold piece that we have over there? That's like what all churches are made out of. Yeah, it looks like that. All of these gold pieces are what, like, the church tops look like. You know, here in Detroit and Michigan, you know, we don't have that.
Are you talking about like a mosque kind of look? You know what I mean?
It's like as if we had, like, the churches here, but, you know, just made in gold. Because, like, you know, back in the day, they were just so about, like, religion.
That's a sick move as well.
Yeah, and I mean,
they're
it's
doing
just so
some
beautiful.
Sick moves over there, bro.
I mean, like, I get it. I get why people are out here. And one of the questions that came to me is, like, well, there's a war. Why doesn't everybody just get up and move?
Yeah.
But, like, the hard, like, soul of these people to just say, like, well, my family's been here for, like, 8 generations. I ain't fucking leaving.
It's courage.
Yeah, and they're talking about that. You know, it just really inspired me to, you know, be there, and this is maybe one of my vacation spots ever now.
That's awesome, man. And I mean, let's be honest, there are beautiful women in Ukraine. Was that also what is their opinion on an American?
I'd say that they're just excited to learn more about, you know, why I was there.
Okay.
Know? But there was grandmas that were there trying to, like, speak to me. There were, like, other guys that were soldiers. They were trying to figure out, maybe even recruit me a little bit.
Dang.
Get on the front lines, you know.
Dang, you're even gonna be a spy.
I mean, dude, the front lines.
You might be working in a massage parlor. That's a throwback to an old episode I was talking about.
Yeah, but, like,
callback
for real, man. Like, it's just some crazy shit, and I gotta say, like, there's, you know, here in America, I feel like people just aren't celebrating life. You know, just being alive, like, the way that you could in another country where war is more predominant.
Right.
Because, like, you know, here we're so gifted to probably never see a war in our lives, and there you're fighting every day.
Hopefully, bro. And I feel like once that happens, once war does come to America, I think that it's not going to be like how it is in Ukraine. I think, like, it's going to be like robots are killing us. Yeah. And I know that's happening there with the drones and shit, but I think it's be like, you know, we're gonna see some, like, fucking Terminator shit.
I mean, like, dude, it's like that's what's, like, the reason I wouldn't want to go to a war is, like, I wanna have another guy stab me, or I want to have another guy shoot me. I don't want to have, like, some guy in a drone just blast me from, like, 500 miles away. It's like, come on,
that's
bro.
so pussy.
Yeah, it's like, get out here and fight me yourself. Like, you can't even take me with your own arms.
Dude, that's a great point, man. Does Ukraine have a religion?
I'd say, like, they were back in the day. They were, like, more a part of, like, the Eastern Orthodox, you know, sort of Christianity. But right next to them is actually, like, such a hard cut in the religion. Is, like, you go right from there, and then it's Georgia, and then below them is, like, Iran, Afghanistan, you know, Iraq, and those people are more on, like, the Western or Eastern sides of religion, you know.
Yeah. So it was, like, part with the Ukraine, like, and being a part of, like, kind of Western religion, like, Christianity. Was that because, like, England or someone came into Ukraine and changed whatever it was they were worshiping before, or was it always kind of like that?
It's actually a part of, like, the Rus or the Russian group or Russians that were, you know, predominantly in charge of that area at the time, and they had their own, like, Catholic religion, you know, rivaling the Pope. They had their own Pope back in the day. They're just like the Roman Catholic Pope. That guy's a pussy.
There was another. They had their own Pope.
They had their own Pope, and they just, like, disobeyed. They're just kind of like, we're gonna do whatever we want, and they just ran that area because it was all ice, and nobody's going to go over there and fight them in the ice. So,
No,
I mean,
yeah.
like, you know, hey, you guys just
They're
in the
white,
ice.
bro. They're the White Walkers.
Yeah, it's like, you guys in the white, you know, the ice, just go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, we're not going to send a bunch of troops to go kill you because
That's never worked for any military ever.
Yeah, because like the strategy has just been like, okay, well, we're just gonna wait at home where it's like really nice and warm, and you guys just, you know, fight your way through the Siberia and just see if you get here. And by the time you suffered for like 5 or 6 days in the hard snow where you're just battling it out, you know, we're gonna be ready for you. We're gonna be all charged up, and we're gonna come out and kill you.
Dude, Siberia is one of the most interesting places in the world, I think. I saw it, I think, maybe 100 to 150 years ago. One of the biggest impacts ever was made in Siberia. And at the time, there was no nukes or anything. So people were like, what the, what? It was a huge meteor, bro. It literally, like, I forget how much of the Siberian forest this thing decimated, but it was the size of a city. It was insane. Getting back to the religion thing, we have this book here. It's called The Tao Te Ching. Highly recommend it. It's by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was a Chinese, you could say, philosopher. People didn't really know if he existed or not. The story is that as he was leaving the Chinese Empire, a guard asked him to write down his most insightful and like wisdom, thought-provoking things. And so he writes this thing called the Tao Te Ching. And I'll just read one little passage because it's a bunch of different, what would you call these things? Proverbs?
Yeah, like Psalms. Like
Psalms.
you find in the Bible or something like that.
So here's the first one. The way that can be articulated, described, is not the unchanging way. The name that can be said out loud is not the unchanging name. With your mouth unopened and things left undefined, you stand at the beginning of the universe. Make definitions, and you are the measure of all creation, thus being forever without desire. You look deeply into the transcendent. By constantly harboring desire, your vision is beset by all the things around you. These two enter the world alike, but their names are different. Alike, they are called profound and remote. Profound and remote, and again more so. This is the gate to all mysteries. And the thing, what I've noticed as I've read some of this, is that it's a book that, like, you can't just read it. Like, Ryan Holiday, the author of The Daily Stoic, and Ego is the Enemy, and Stillness, like, great books. His mentor is Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. We've talked about that on here. He writes, like, this, but in a dumbed down way. You know what I mean? And because I was reading it, and I was like, I want to see the source he's getting it from. And so then I went to the Eastern, like, religion area, and bro, it's the trippiest shit ever. And it's really cool. I really, like, growing up, my mom always very religious Christian, so I told her I got this book, and she was like, don't open that in the house. You are leaving the opportunity for demons and shit. Like, that's how religious she is. Okay, so we are crunching on time, guys. So we're just gonna go with these 3 last things real quick. Debate. Thoughts.
It's a shit show.
It's a shit show. Biden's dead.
Yeah.
He died.
Maybe other people die as well.
No, sure. I think he's dead. I think he's dead, dude. I don't know what. I think they had him on and, like, puffing air into him, so it sounded like he was still, like, breathing.
Bro, they got both candidates out there puffing air into him, man. Dude. They both got to wear some, like, oxygen masks on stage.
Bro, Donnie T, we talk about him on the pod here, a little bit, and he did something very smart that I don't think the left thought he was going to do, and that was he didn't keep interrupting. He wasn't how he normally is. And so he basically did what in the 48 Laws of Power they say, is one of the laws, like, basically let your enemy, like, tie the rope or whatever by having them speak. And it's cool to see, like, oh, he's using that tactic, like.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't think he did that well either.
He didn't.
He just has to do better than the other guy.
Right.
It's like getting somebody that gets an F on the test versus somebody that gets, like, a D+. Like,
yes.
Did he really do that much better? Not really, but, like,
it just seems like it.
Didn't.
And then we had a podcast about crypto, stocks, NFTs. I had a psychosis and I went insane. That kind of fucked with some of my investments, but we keep going. And anyways, the podcast was phenomenal. It was dope. And we had on Chantelle Lane, who, for those of you that don't know, she sang the song Impossible. And it's crazy how you can reach out in the crypto world on Twitter. You can reach out to celebrities, and since it's such a small kind of community, they'll respond. Like, it's kind of nuts. Like, as long as, you're obviously not a bot or something, but, like, I think that's kind of cool. Before we leave, if you had to say, what are some investments that you would recommend?
I'd say that...
Let's get 3 stocks, 3 cryptos.
Dude, I think with the rise in AI, you'd be a fool not to be invested in Apple.
Okay.
Because they just took on AI in a new way. You got Microsoft that wins every time that OpenAI makes money because they have like a 35% stake in them.
Dang.
And then I'd also just say that staying with like one of the biggest like healthcare names in the business, it's Eli Lilly.
Okay.
They're working with OpenAI now to make cures for drugs that had never been seen before. Like they're working on treatments for HIV. They're working on treatments for cancer. They're working on other treatments now using OpenAI to like help build their platforms. And so like we're about to see like technology revelations in the healthcare space that we never even thought were possible because some of these diseases have never been cured before. And
like COVID.
Yeah, like COVID, that's one of them. Like HIV, which,
HIV, I thought they did
AIDS.
have that. I thought they had that cured.
No, like Magic Johnson had that and he had all the money in the world and didn't find a cure.
But he's still kicking it, right?
I think maybe, but like he still has the disease.
Oh yeah, it's just
like,
dormant or something.
It's because it lies so far in the body that the body, like, you can't take it out. Like it hides in your vertebrae and your backbone. So like, it's so clever that like you can't kill it because you can't even see it.
What the fuck?
So they're now using like new medicine advancements like in gene therapy to try to like beat that. And this stock has gone up some like 1,000% in 5 years. It's probably on pace to like go up another 1,000% if they get that.
What did it? What was like? What is
they
it?
have one of like the fastest like fat burn. They have like the quickest like fat burning drug that's been released to the public. Ozempic. Okay. Yeah, and like that's been a massive hit. Yeah. Like they have all these different like dude, they're a monopoly. Like there's no competing with them. They have all the technology.
Eli Lilly?
Yeah, Eli Lilly. Then they have all like the money in the world.
Okay.
Captivated around that. So I'd say you can't get away from those. If you just put money into those and forgot about it, you'd probably be a wealthy man one day.
Okay, so Apple, Eli Lilly, and Microsoft, ChatGPT, and cryptos.
Yeah, I'd say got to roll with the strong ones off the bat. So Bitcoin, that's an easy one. Solana with the pending ETF, and then Brett, which is like Coinbase's new coin. Which, Coinbase accounts for...
It's a Crow. It's a Crow token, like a CRO token. It was made with...
It was an L2.
No, but it was made like how Solana has... What is their layer, like token?
Like Jupiter or something like that.
Yeah, that's...
It's on the Solana
network. I'm thinking of Crypto.com, my bad.
Yeah, but like this is an L2 on the Base network, which is a new network as of about a year ago. That was released by Coinbase, which is why they call it Base. And Base accounts for about 30 to 25% of the transactions worldwide. Wow. And so like they have a massive audience. And if crypto prices continue to like roll on up, then we're going to see massive adoption. It's already the number. Base. It was like Solana did. I mean, they rolled from earlier on this year, like they were like market cap of like 3,000. Now they're market cap 50.
Holy shit.
It's like Solana's run up. It's seriously like one of the craziest things.
Do you think it's going to do what Solana did when it first did that run up?
No, because like it's still pending. Like the hype around it is pending their listing on Binance, which is not on, which accounts for 40%. It accounts for 40% of all trade volume in the world, and it's listing on Coinbase, which is its own coin.
Huge.
So they're missing out on roughly 70% of trade volume, and they're still a top 50 market cap.
Base. And the price of that is what?
Like 16 cents.
16 cents for a Base token.
For Brett. Which is like the meme coin.
For Brett.
It's like the meme coin of this, but like it's the only one that's reputable.
There's a meme coin on Brett.
They are already starting to like advertise on Coinbase, like their upcoming stuff is like, invest in crypto now, and they have a little picture of Brett.
That's sick.
Like the whole plan, according to the CEO, is to like slowly bring it on, so that they could probably buy it up. Become really wealthy, have a bunch of shares, and that's what CEOs do.
Yeah.
Then they make it really good and sell all their shares and go buy 5 mansions.
Yeah, and fuck a bunch of people over.
Yeah, and that's like,
It's the game.
But like we could see that because like crypto wallets, they're all open transactions and you can see who's loading up on this.
Yes, and before we leave, I want to do a recommendation myself for crypto. Arbitrum, is that how you pronounce it? Arbitrium. They have like a partnership with Robinhood, and it's really cool. You're going to now be able to use Robinhood to basically do all the things that actual crypto exchange does, and the transaction fee is $0. For those of you that don't know, if you're using Ethereum and you're using their blockchain, the transaction fee is based on the gas like fee, which is basically how many people are using the network at that time. The fee can be literally $200.
Yeah, that's for dinosaurs.
And that it is for dinosaurs, and that's why. But Arbitrum is like helping. Yeah, that would be crypto I would highly recommend, just because they have some serious partnerships now too. Like once you start seeing the serious partnerships and like a crypto company working together with an actual stock company like Robinhood, it's a good sign.
That's where the value comes from. The value comes from the investments from outside companies, outside business, and then also like the L2s that they have that are, you know, have ecosystems of people using their like products every day and have like fees and transactions that come off of. That's where like the value comes from. When a lot of people say that crypto doesn't have any value, that's what I think of. And then I say, well, all these users, I guess, mean nothing to you.
Right. The people give it value.
The people give it value, just like the, you know, United States dollar.
Yeah, and also, like, gold is old. No, that's not a saying.
But it's on the rise as well.
It is on the rise. But my question is this. Like, what do you think the gold standard, like, in terms of for the U.S. dollar? Like, do you think that will always be it? Or do you think it will ever change to something else? Maybe a digital thing?
You never know. And I think just like the last thing we should probably end on is just be diverse. Because you never know. We have something like $34 trillion in debt one day.
Yeah.
That means that we have to pay somebody, and if we don't have any money to pay them with,
are we ever gonna pay them?
I don't know. We just keep stacking up the debt. And so it's like at one day, you know, if I every day was like, yo, Johnny, can I get $100? I'll pay you back. And then you pay me all this $100, and at the end of the year, it's like I owe you $3,000. You're gonna be like, yo, Roy, are you gonna pay me back? I'm like, yo, dude, just we'll add some interest. Like, dude, I'll pay you like $4,000 at the end of next year. Then you're like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
And
yeah,
then
just
you
keep
just
getting
like,
fucked.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be like, one day you're gonna be like, dude, come on, like you owe me like $10,000 now. Like, are you gonna pay me? And if not, like, dude, I don't care about you anymore. Like, you're bankrupt to me. And so like that's how maybe some of the other world starts to see it, like China or Russia or something like that.
Dude, that's what I was thinking too. Like, if they just stop.
Well, I mean, we're already cutting them off. You know, our number one trade partner in a year has come from China to Mexico.
Oh, wow. Well, shout out to Mexicans. We love the lads over here.
Yeah.
But with that being said, guys, thank you for listening to J-Rob Pod. Roy, you're an amazing guest as always.
Thanks for having me.
Dear friend. Thank you, Dave, for, you know, letting us go over a little bit. Appreciate you. And Roy's Investments, check it out. There will be a link. And have a great day, guys. See ya.